Vecna is out of his mind. He's opening other doorways, and we don't know where they lead.
We all are ready for one last war.
Stranger Things 5 wants you to believe one thing. Vecna is the big bad, the final villain, the monster at the end of everything. But if you look closely at the lore, the Dungeons & Dragons parallels, and the way Volume 1 treats Will Byers and Dimension X, that story does not add up. In this video, Vecna is not the final boss. In Stranger Things 5, we are going to talk about why Vecna is more like the mid-game boss. We will look at the Mind Flayer as the real hive mind, Will Byers as the possible endgame threat.
I know it's hard to talk about, but these visions, were they like before? Like when you had your now memories?
It's like I was there. I was right there. I was seeing what it was seeing and thinking what it was thinking. I must have somehow tapped back into the hive mind.
And how the show has been hinting at a bigger power behind Vecna since Season 1. Let us start with what we know about Vecna. Henry Creel goes to Dimension X as a child. He is exposed to the particles that will later form the Mind Flayer. He survives, comes back different, and ends up in Hawkins' lab as Subject 1. When 11 blasts him through the wall, he falls into the hellscape, then is reshaped by the hive mind into the monster we call Vecna. That sounds impressive, but listen to the order. Dimension X and the particles come first. The hive mind comes first. Henry comes later. That alone tells us Vecna is not the origin of this evil. He is a vessel. In Dungeons & Dragons, Vecna is a powerful lich, even a god in some versions. But even he is not the only top-tier threat. There are elder evils, primordials, and cosmic entities above him. The Duffers know this. They named him Vecna on purpose. Now think about the Mind Flayer. In Season 3, the Mind Flayer builds a physical body out of people and animals. When 11 injures that body, the Mind Flayer does not die. It retreats. In Season 4, we see that the storm-like shape in the upside-down sky existed before Henry. He did not create it. He shaped it. That is a key line. Vecna shapes the Mind Flayer like a spider because that is the form he understands. But the intelligence itself is older, bigger, and not fully visible. So if Vecna is the general, who is the king? The simplest answer is that the Mind Flayer, or whatever lives inside Dimension X, is the true final boss. Vecna is its favorite champion, but not the source. Then there is Will Byers. From Season 1, Will has been marked in a way nobody else has. He spends days in the Upside Down. He breathes the particles. In Season 2, a vine wraps around his throat and pours the Mind Flayer into him. He becomes a human relay. He feels temperature changes when the Mind Flayer is near. He hears it. He knows where it is.
Only this time, I didn't run. This time, I stood my ground. Easy peasy, right?
Easy peasy.
Just like that.
By Season 5, the show is clear. Will is the beginning and the end. Not Vecna, Will. If you were running this as a D&D campaign, You would see the pattern: the first kid taken, the one who survived the longest exposure, the one still connected to the hive mind years later. That is not just a victim, that is an anchor. There is a strong chance the final conflict of Stranger Things 5 is not 11 versus Vecna. It is the party versus whatever the hive mind wants to do with Will. Now, let us zoom out to the structure. Season 1 introduces a small Demogorgon. Season 2 introduces the Mind Flayer in shadow form. Season 3 gives it a body. Season 4 gives us Vecna as the face and the backstory. Season 5 ties it all together. If Vecna was the final boss, Stranger Things 4 would have killed him. The fact that he survives means he still has a role to play, but probably not as the last enemy. Think about other big stories. In many fantasy series, the villain you meet in the middle is there to teach you the rules of the true evil. They show you what the big threat can do on a smaller scale. Once you understand that, the story can reveal the real thing. Vecna shows us. The hive mind can twist human trauma. It can build bodies. It can rearrange time inside a mind. It can infect and reshape a human into a monster. That is terrifying. But it might only be phase 1. The real nightmare is what happens if the Mind Flayer, or the Dimension X intelligence, moves past needing Vecna at all. Imagine it using Will, or the entire upside-down copy of Hawkins, as its new core. At that point, killing Vecna would be like breaking one finger on a giant hand. So what does a final boss look like in Stranger Things 5? It might be Will fully taken over, forcing his friends to choose between saving him and saving the world. The Mind Flayer manifesting in a new form that is not tied to one body. Time itself bending, with the upside down locked on November 6, 1983, for a reason that only makes sense at the end. In all of those versions, Vecna is still important. He is the doorway, the teacher, the first nightmare. But he is not the last one. Here is the simple way to think about it. Vecna is the face of the enemy we understand. The Mind Flayer, Dimension X, and Will Byers are the parts we do not fully understand yet. Final bosses in stories are almost always tied to the deepest mystery, not the loudest monster. So as you watch Stranger Things 5 Volume 2 and the finale, do not just ask, will they beat Vecna? Ask, who gave Vecna his power? What does that thing really want? And what happens to Will if they win? Because when the screen cuts to black for the last time, the real question will not be how Vecna fell. It will be what price Hawkins had to pay to stop the thing behind him.
You have already lost.
No, you have.
Stranger Things 5. Volume 1 gave us bigger stakes, darker horror, and some of the most powerful scenes 11 has ever had. But there is one thing Volume 1 quietly proves. Even after all this time, 11 still cannot beat Vecna. It is not because she is weak, it is because of what I call the level 20 problem. In this video, why 11 still can't beat Vecna. In Volume 2, we are going to treat Stranger Things 5 like a Dungeons & Dragons campaign. We will talk about what level Vecna is actually playing at, what level 11 and the party are stuck on, and what kind of power up they still need before the final fight. Let us start with the basics. In Dungeons & Dragons, Vecna is not a random monster. He is a legendary god-tier villain.
You believed you could end this, end me. But all you can do now is witness the world I'm about to unleash.
A lich, a wizard, and eventually a full-on deity. In game terms, he is a level 20 style boss. That means if you send in a group of low-level characters, they are not meant to win. They are meant to survive, learn, and run. Now look at Stranger Things. By the time we reach Season 5, Vecna has survived Dimension X, merged with the hive mind behind the upside down, learned how to invade minds, rewrite memories, and reshape the environment around him. He is not just physically dangerous. He controls the battlefield, the timing, and the rules. In D&D terms, he has legendary actions, lair actions, resistances, and a full spell list. 11 is powerful, but she is not built like that. Her powers came from exposure to the same Dimension X source, filtered through human experiments. She has huge bursts of telekinesis. She can enter the void. She can connect minds. But every season shows us the same thing. Her power has limits. She gets nosebleeds. She collapses. She loses access to her abilities under stress. She needs training to get them back. In Volume 1 of Stranger Things 5, we see that the gap between a human-level psychic and a hive-linked cosmic entity is still massive. Think about the last big confrontation we saw before Season 5. At the end of Season 4, 11 manages to save Max's life, but she does not truly stop Vecna. He completes his ritual. The gates open. Hawkins is damaged. The board is changed. That is what a failed boss fight looks like in a campaign. You do not get a total party kill. You get a partial win with a heavy cost, and the villain moves to the next phase of their plan. Volume 1 of Season 5 continues that pattern. 11 is stronger and more focused, but Vecna is no longer just one creature. He is a will that can move through the Upside Down, through human minds, and through the connection to Will Byers. So if Vecna is playing at level 20, where is 11? Right now, she feels like a level 12 or 13 character fighting above her weight. She can win small fights. She can hold him off. She can protect individual people for a while. But when it comes to a straight one-on-one, full power, no distractions fight, the story keeps showing us that she is not there yet. In D&D, there are only 3 ways to win that kind of fight. Number 1, you level up. You gain new abilities, more hit points, and better stats. Number 2, you find better loot. Magic items, artifacts, or outside help that change the rules of the battle. Number 3, you change the objective. Instead of killing the boss, you cut off their power source, trap them, or break their connection to the world. Stranger Things 5. Volume 1 hints that the show is going to use all 3. 11 still has room to grow. We have seen her regain powers in Season 4. Season 5 hints that her connection to Will and to Dimension X might unlock new abilities we have not fully seen yet. That is the natural level up. Then there is loot. In this story, loot does not have to be a sword or a wand. It can be information. It can be a device left over from Project Philadelphia. It can be a ritual, a song, or a map of the mindscape that lets the party attack Vecna where he is weak. Volume 1 spends a lot of time on lore. Dimension X, the first shadow, the early experiments. That is not filler. That is the story handing the party the equivalent of magic items. And finally, there is the objective. If Vecna is truly tied into a hive mind that spans Dimension X, the Upside Down, and Will Byers, then killing his physical body may not be enough. The party might need to sever the link with Will, collapse the bridge between dimensions, or force Vecna back into a form where he is no longer a level 20 god, but just Henry Creel again. That is why 11 cannot win yet in Volume 2. Because from a story and D&D perspective, it is too early. The party is still learning the rules of the final fight. So when you watch Stranger Things 5 Volume 2 on Christmas, do not expect a clean win. Expect a mid-campaign boss phase. A brutal fight that teaches Eleven and the others exactly what kind of power up they need before the finale. Here is the simple way to think about it. Vecna is built like a level 20 boss. 11 is still leveling up. Volume 2 is not about beating him. It is about surviving long enough to learn how he can be beaten. Now that you know why 11 still cannot beat Vecna in Volume 2, the next question is, what if Vecna is not even the final boss? In my next video, I break down why Vecna might only be the mid-game villain and who the real end boss of Stranger Things 5 could be. Click that next, and let us keep looking at this story like the D&D campaign it is.
Every day he feels closer. Like the world is bending toward him again.
He's inside the silence now, pushing through thoughts I can't hold back anymore.
Some part of me still hears him, waiting for the moment I slip.
I try to stay strong.
Stranger Things 5 Volume 1 is out. We already know what happens in the first 4 episodes. Now everyone is looking at the calendar. Volume 2 drops on December 25th, Christmas Day. Most people see that and think, great, we are getting cozy Christmas Stranger Things. Maybe a hopeful turning point. Maybe a warm family-style win before the finale. But what if I told you the Christmas episodes are not a gift? They are a trap. In this video, Stranger Things 5. Christmas episodes are a trap. We are going to talk about why Netflix and the Duffer Brothers picked that date on purpose, and why it probably means Volume 2 is where things get much worse, not better. First, let us look at the pattern. Stranger Things has always used nostalgia and comfort as bait. Kids on bikes, arcades, snowball dances, mixtapes, all the warm 80s vibes. But almost every time the show gives you something soft and familiar, it twists the knife. The Christmas lights in Season 1 were not just cute decorations. They were a way for a missing child to scream through the walls.
Okay, baby, talk to me. Talk to me, where are you? G-H-T-R-E, right here. I don't know what that means. What should I do? How do I get to you?
The arcade in Season 2 was not just fun. It was where the Mind Flayer first showed us that it was still watching Will.
Hey guys, do you see the... Will! You okay?
So when you see Stranger Things 5 Volume 2 land right on Christmas Day, you have to ask, is this a reward or is this another setup? Now think about what Christmas means in stories. In a lot of classic fantasy, winter and Christmas are not just weather or holidays, they are symbols. In The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the world of Narnia is frozen in endless winter. Always winter and never Christmas. When Christmas finally shows up, it does not mean the danger is over. It means the real war is about to start. In horror, Christmas is often used as contrast. Bright lights, happy music, family gatherings. And then something terrible happens right in the middle of it. The horror feels stronger because it is invading a day that is supposed to be safe. Stranger Things 5 is the final season. The Duffers know fans are already emotional. Dropping Volume 2 on Christmas lets them hit that contrast as hard as possible. Imagine this. You sit down on December 25th. You are full of food. You are in a good mood. You press play. The show might start with snow in Hawkins, Christmas lights, families trying to pretend everything is normal. Our main characters get one brief moment of peace. Then the Upside Down pushes back. A rift opens. Will gets another vision. Vecna makes his next move. The timing makes it feel like the show itself just ruined Christmas. That is not an accident. That is emotional design. There's also the bigger meta level. Netflix cares about watch time and conversation. Releasing Stranger Things. 5 Volume 2 on Christmas does 3 big things. Number 1, it guarantees millions of people will be home and off work, perfect for binge watching. Number 2, it hijacks the holiday news cycle. Every entertainment site will run headlines like, Stranger Things, 5 Christmas episodes break fans. Number 3, it taps into a tradition horror has used for years. Take a safe date, break it. From a story point of view, Volume 2 being a trap makes sense too. If the full season is 8 episodes, Volume 1 is the setup. Volume 2 is the escalation. The finale is the resolution. So what does escalation look like in Stranger Things 5? This is where heroes lose ground. Secrets about Will and Vecna get exposed. The party realizes their current plan cannot work. And at least one big twist hits. That changes how we see the entire war with the Upside Down and Dimension X. A Christmas drop is the perfect place to do that. Give viewers something big that they have to sit with for a whole week until the finale. Maybe Christmas is the day the barrier between Hawkins and the Upside Down finally breaks for good. Maybe it is the day Will fully connects to the hive mind. Maybe it is the day we learn Vecna is not the final boss after all. Whatever it is, it will not be a neat little bow. It will be a cliffhanger. So what should you expect from the Stranger Things 5 Christmas episodes? Expect comfort used as misdirection. Expect at least one scene that feels like classic holiday warmth. And then expect that scene to be shattered by something from the Upside Down or Dimension X. Expect Volume 2 to feel bigger and darker than Volume 1, not because of more monsters, but because the show will finally force Will, Eleven, and the rest of the party to face truths they have been running from since Season 1. Here is the simple way to think about it. Volume 1 made you remember why you love Stranger Things. Volume 2 on Christmas is going to test how much you can handle it when that love hurts. The Christmas episodes are not the happy ending. They are the moment the spell breaks and the real shape of the story shows up. Now that you know why the Stranger Things 5 Christmas episodes are a trap, the next question is, even if the party realizes what is happening, are they strong enough to win? In my next video, I break down the level 20 problem in Stranger Things 5, why Eleven still cannot beat Vecna in Volume 2, and what kind of power up the group needs before the final episode. Click that next, and let us keep getting ready for what Christmas in Hawkins really means.